Alright guys, Eminem came out with his new album Revival, and I haven't had the chance to get into it completely all the way yet, but I have listened to a few songs on it, and what I've heard, I have been frankly very pleased with. I think that this album has depth, it has meaning, and it has something for everybody, even if you didn't like the old scary Eminem. Particularly, Walk on Water is pretty amazing. You've probably heard a lot of rap songs by now, and just songs in general, by artists who think that their critics just care too much about hurting them, and that's what this song is about, essentially. But Eminem does it in his own way. The raps are really cool. And in fact, they sound a little bit more like spoken word, just the way that he's kind of talking them rather than rapping them. There's a lot on here, and a guy who used to seem invulnerable and impenetrable now is letting people get a closer look at who he really is. Of course, Beyonce sings the chorus, and she sings, "I walk on water, but I ain't no Jesus. I walk on water, but only when it freezes," which suggests this idea that Eminem was held like in a godlike status, maybe partially by himself when he writes a song called Rap God. But he is telling people, now, it's not a miracle. I'm not God. I am a human just like you, and the only way that I'm able to do extraordinary things is through ways that are very easily explainable and anticlimactic. So he's basically saying, don't be impressed by the things that I've done. Here's how I did it. And then I want to highlight a couple of lines from verse 1. Why are expectations so high? Is it the bar I set? And that's a common theme in this song, this question of, have the things that I've done in the past made the expectations that you have for me so high that I can never reach them? And then he complains about the critics, knowing that no matter what bars I come with, you're gonna harp and gripe. Verse 2 is him worrying that he'll tarnish the legacy that he's already set, and he's telling us too, and near the end of it, that there are other people we should idolize, but definitely not him. It's the curse of the standard that the first of the Mathers disc set, always in search of the verse that I haven't spit yet. Will this step just be another misstep to tarnish whatever legacy, love, or respect I've garnered? And that's that first theme where he's saying, I don't know if I'm gonna screw up, and maybe this album's gonna suck. And then people will just look at all of my accomplishments less happily. And it always feels like I'm hitting the mark till I go sit in the car, listen and pick it apart like this shit is garbage. And that's like a really cool like look behind the scenes. So he goes into the studio, he listens to it, he gets the CD, he takes it with him to listen to it, maybe think of a few more things, and he quickly starts to find mistakes. If you are an artist or have written song lyrics yourself or created anything, you know exactly that feeling where nothing you make is good enough for you. You're your own worst critic. He says, I'm not God sent. Nas, Rakim, Pac, B.I.G., James Todd Smith, and I'm not Prince. So, and then he goes back into the chorus, but he's basically saying there are people worth idolizing. There are people with godlike musical abilities. I am not one of them. And that's a really interesting sentiment coming from the guy who wrote Rap God. And he continues, there was a time I had the world by the balls eating out my palm. Every album song I was spazzing the fuck out on, and now I'm getting clowned and frowned on. And this is him saying that like I used to be on top, people were amazed by me, and now the critics just tear me apart. There's another line in verse 3, the crowds are gone and it's time to wash out the blonde, sales decline, the curtains drawn. And this is definitely what's been happening to him in the last decade. He got rid of his blonde hair, and after you don't release music for a while, your sales eventually do start declining. It's like this slow, steady drop. I know that because that's how YouTube videos and blog posts work as well. But when I do fall from these heights though, I'll be fine. I won't pout or cry or spiral down or whine, but I'll decide if it's my final blow this time around. And that's him saying that nobody's gonna force him to retire before he wants to. And we hear the post-chorus, cause I'm only human just like you. I've been making my mistakes, so if you only knew. I don't think you should believe in me the way that you do, because I'm terrified to let you down. If I walked on water, I would drown. And that's Beyonce singing this as that recurring theme for Eminem. And frankly speaking, that is an amazing sentiment there, and that is so well put. These lyrics are fantastic. And so this works two ways. One, he's telling people, don't idolize me, but at the same time he's saying, guys, I'm not trying to walk on water or to be Jesus, and so when you keep holding my music to such high standards, you're going to be disappointed, and so cut me some slack here. And then finally, perhaps one of the best few lines in the entire song is the outro. He says, cause I'm just a man, but as long as I got a mic, I'm godlike, so me and you are not alike. Bitch, I wrote Stan. And this seems to go against the theme of the whole song, but it's showing that he's got multiple sides to what he's saying here. So for the rest of the song, he was saying like, I'm not perfect and I've made mistakes and I'm not, you know, gonna always write the best rhymes and cut me some slack. But here he's saying to the critics, you know what? I still have a mic and you don't. So if you're gonna criticize me, just remember that I have written things that you will never be able to write in your entire life because they were just so good and so popular. So we get a little bit of braggadociousness as well as an assertion of the power of the self. And he's saying, I'm a human, but I've been put into positions where I am above other people. And so while you may criticize me, we are not alike. And overall, I think that this is a very interesting song. The lyrics are deep. I really liked seeing this inside perspective on Eminem. Beyonce's hook was fantastic and accented the meaning so well. And I think this is an amazing song, and I am excited to go and keep listening to the rest of the album. Let me know what you guys think. What is an Eminem song I should explain in the future, guys? And I will talk to you all next time.